Welcome everyone to this Settle In live session. My name is Chiamaka Gali and I'm the Virtual Events Manager with Settle In. Today, we will be covering the assistance and services available for Ukrainians in the United States through the Uniting for Ukraine program. This information session is for those who are already paroled into the United States or those who are approved for travel to the United States through Uniting for Ukraine. This information will not be beneficial or accurate for those who have arrived through different pathways. We will not be covering how to apply for the program or other immigration pathways to the United States. Please remember when commenting during this live session not to share any personal or confidential information as we are public facing. Today, we will be providing an overview of supporter responsibilities and government assistance you might be eligible for. A supporter is a person who has agreed to provide financial support for the parolee by filling out the I-134. They can also be called a sponsor. We will highlight other important information to know as you adjust to your new community, including finding housing and enrolling your children in school. What is Uniting for Ukraine? Uniting for Ukraine provides a pathway for Ukrainian citizens and their immediate family members who are outside the United States to come to the United States and stay temporarily in a 2-year period of parole. Uniting for Ukraine participants must have a supporter in the United States who agrees to support them for the duration of their stay. Once you arrive, you are considered a Ukrainian humanitarian parolee, or UHP. We will not be covering how to apply to this program or the eligibility details. For more information on that topic, please visit uscis.gov/Ukraine. What are the supporters' responsibilities? In order to come to the United States under this program, you and a supporter fill out the I-134A form with the U.S. government. Supporters agree to provide parolees with financial support for the duration of their stay in the United States. Supporters also serve as a guide to life in the U.S. and to their city or town. They make sure newcomers are welcomed in their new communities and have the necessary information and tools they need to start a life in the U.S. Supporters are encouraged but not required to meet you at the airport and drive you to the place you will be staying. Make sure that you have safe and appropriate housing and initial necessities. Help you complete paperwork for employment authorization, a social security card, and other services you may be eligible for. Make sure your healthcare and medical needs are met, and assist you with accessing education, learning English, securing employment, and enrolling children in school. Upon arrival in the U.S., you should have clear, agreed upon expectations with your supporter and how much assistance they will be offering you as you adjust to your new community. Employment eligibility. If you've been granted humanitarian parole under Uniting for Ukraine, effective November 21st, 2022, you're eligible to work in the United States immediately. While you can work upon arrival in the U.S., you need to apply for an employment authorization document, or EAD, to continue to work legally. U.S. employers must check to make sure all employees, regardless of citizenship or national origin, are authorized to work in the United States. For Ukrainian humanitarian parolees, this authorization comes from your EAD, which you must present to your employer within 90 days of starting your new job. As soon as you arrive in the United States, you'll need to apply for an EAD to ensure your work authorization doesn't end during your parole period. You can do so by submitting Form I-765, Application for Employment Authorization, with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS. If you already have an EAD, you do not need to do anything. To apply for employment authorization, you can submit Form I-765 either by mail or online through the USCIS website my.uscis.gov. Please note that depending on your state and location, it can take several months or more to receive your EAD. If you need assistance or have specific questions about your EAD, please reach out to a local resettlement agency. What benefits and services are available for Ukrainian humanitarian parolees in the U.S.? You may be wondering, what assistance can I access? Or how much money will I receive? Or perhaps you have heard your friends and family talking about the services that they have received. The US government funding to support parolees is limited and meant to cover the basic needs that you and your family may have. The services will not cover all of your needs, and your supporter is expected to financially support you during the duration of your parole. The goal is to obtain employment quickly enough to cover you and your family's needs and become self sufficient. You might be eligible for federal assistance through several different agencies and programs. Eligibility is based on factors like household size, income, medical conditions, and disabilities. We will now go over some federal mainstream benefits. Federal mainstream benefits are those that many other U.S. residents can also receive. Applying for federal benefits varies by state. Here are some of the federal mainstream benefits you might qualify for. Medicaid provides health coverage to eligible low-income adults, children, pregnant women, elderly adults, and people with disabilities. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, supports the food budget of families or individuals so they can purchase healthy foods and move towards self-sufficiency. Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, TANF, helps low-income families with children achieve economic self-sufficiency through monthly cash assistance payments and a wide range of services. Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, provides monthly payments to adults and children with a disability whose income is below specific financial limits. SSI payments are also made to people aged 65 and older without disabilities who meet the financial qualifications. Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR, Assistance and Services. In addition to federal mainstream benefits, Ukrainian humanitarian parolees can also qualify for benefits provided by the Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR. ORR works through the states and other non-governmental organizations to help cover the costs of food, housing, health, and other basic needs. We will highlight some of the programs and assistance you might be eligible for. A local resettlement agency can help you identify appropriate programs and apply. Refugee Cash Assistance, or RCA, helps refugee and other eligible populations without children pay their bills while they search for work. Refugee Medical Assistance, or RMA, can provide health insurance to people who are not eligible for Medicaid. Ukrainian parolees can receive up to 12 months of RMA from their date of eligibility. RMA provides the same health insurance coverage as Medicaid. The Matching Grant Program is an early economic self-sufficiency initiative that provides cash assistance, intensive case management, and employment services to help you immediately find and maintain employment. Enrollment slots are limited in number and by location. ORR-funded agencies might also have an additional services including job training and preparation, assistance with job search, placement, and retention, English language training, childcare, transportation, translation and interpreter services, and case management. These services vary by location. How long do the benefits last? Depending on the benefit or service, the length of benefit ranges from 8 months to the end of the individual's parole term, unless otherwise amended by law or the individual gains another ORR eligible category or status. If a Ukrainian humanitarian parolee applies for and obtains temporary protected status, or TPS, the individual will remain eligible for ORR benefits and services until the end of their parole term. If you're interested in learning more about the benefits we've mentioned in this presentation, you can send the Settle In team a message or call the Uniting for Ukraine support line. The Uniting for Ukraine support line provides information and assistance for Ukrainians resettling in the United States. You can call the hotline Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. The phone number is 407 591 3963. The hotline's Ukrainian and Russian-speaking team can connect you to a local resettlement agency or provide additional support depending on your needs. Now we will cover some other important topics you'll need to understand upon arriving in the United States: housing and school enrollment. Your supporter might help you secure housing in your new community and guide you through school enrollment for your children, but this will give you some information about that process. Housing. Housing varies from one location to another. Housing in the United States is often expensive, and finding a suitable place to live can be difficult. It is common for people to rent a house or an apartment. The cost of housing differs from state to state, from city to city, and even from one neighborhood to another. Wherever you live, housing costs will be the largest part of your monthly expenses. Currently, there is a housing shortage in the United States. This will make it harder to find affordable housing. Affordable housing is generally defined as paying no more than 30% of your monthly income before taxes to rent. Even without a housing shortage, it can be difficult to get approved for an apartment or house rental in the US without credit history, proof of employment, rental history, or references. New arrivals not resettled through the United States Refugee Admissions Program, or US RAP, will likely need to live with their sponsor, family, or friend when they first arrive until they can secure employment and start building credit history in the US. School enrollment. Public education for children is free and mandatory in the United States. Though state laws vary, you should enroll your child in school within 30 days of arrival. The enrollment or registration process can vary by state and may happen at the school or district office. During registration, schools collect important information about your child. To prepare for the registration process, gather the following documents and information: proof of residency and current address. Documents could be a utility bill or rental agreement, health and vaccination records, proof of name and age. You might need to provide a birth certificate, I-94 form, and passport, and any education records or school transcripts you brought with you. Now we would like to answer some of your questions. While we will not have time to answer all your questions, our team will be monitoring the comments and answering them as quickly as possible. Please remember when commenting during this live session not to share any personal or confidential information, as this live session is public. You may continue to send us direct messages with any sensitive questions. Our first question is, if I came to the US with parolee status and received temporary protected status, do I lose my ORR benefits? No. If you apply and obtain TPS, you will remain eligible for ORR benefits and services until the end of your parole term. Our next question is, my supporter isn't fulfilling their initial responsibilities. What can I do? If your supporter is not fulfilling their responsibilities, reach out to us or call the Uniting for Ukraine support line at 407-591-3963 to see what options are available for you to receive the support that you need. Finally, can I move to a different state in the US away from my supporter's location? Yes, you are able to move away from your supporter's state. If you're approved for benefits in your current state, you will have to unenroll and reapply in your new state. Additionally, housing may be difficult to find in your initial supporter if your initial supporter provided housing, since landlords may not accept renters without prior rental history. Therefore, it is advised to wait until you are self-sufficient before planning to move. You must report a change of your address within 10 days of moving to a different physical residence to uscis.gov/address change. I'd like to thank you for joining us for this Settle In Live event. We covered a lot of information. You can return to this recording after the event to review the information again. We also encourage you to follow the Settle In Ukrainians Facebook page for the latest information you need to know as you adjust to your life in the United States.